Marion Lara Tan is from the Joint Centre for Disaster Research. Her presentation is Usability of Disaster Apps. A round of applause for Marion.
Two minutes after midnight, on the 14th of November 2016, I experienced the largest earthquake in my life. As I evacuated my home, guess what one thing I brought out with me? I ask you, what one thing did you bring out with you on that night? For most of us, it would be a smartphone. Now, as I was about to send a message to my family that I was safe, I noticed I was trembling, I was shaking. I found it harder to complete the task. This affirmed what I have been studying so far, that our information processing capabilities may be compromised during critical situations. This is why literature has always been emphasizing that when we build tools and technologies for disasters, we must take into account cognitive load. However, has this been taken into account when designing for disaster apps? And I mean apps that claim to provide information on the onset, during, and immediately after a disaster. Now, this is quite alarming, because if we search for disaster apps in Google Play or iTunes, there would be hundreds of results. But out of these hundreds, how many are actually usable? Not many. This is why the aim of my research is to build a usability framework specifically for disaster apps. A set of guidelines, when followed by developers and designers, will create products that will be usable during critical situations. Now, to start building this framework, I have reviewed 60 disaster apps, and I've scrutinized 2,000 user reviews. I solicited red flags as well as best practices on usability. What I have found out so far is that we have certain expectations from disaster apps that we may not demand from our normal day-to-day apps, such as Facebook or Twitter. I found many usability issues, but I will highlight one for this presentation. So on a normal day, often we don't care for the sound effects of our Facebook or Twitter app. In fact, if you check right now, most of your apps will be by default muted in silent mode, because, to be honest, we don't really see the value of sound effects just yet. However, if we compare this to the use of disaster apps, we expect that there would be sound of an alert, and we expect this sound to be audible and also to be distinctive, not mistaking it for any other ping. Now, there are many issues, but audio usability is only one out of many. And this is my mission in the next few months, is to capture all of these usability issues and make a comprehensive guideline for developers and designers. So following my framework, apps will be usable at optimal operation, so that the next time a big earthquake happens, even though I am trembling, even though I am shaking, I will be able to use that app. Thank you.
Judges.
Marion, thank you. Really like the way in which you talked about the cognitive load that kicks into play at a moment of crisis and terror and fear like that. And you're quite right. What is the thing that we would grab? And I think most of us would say, yes, it would be the phone, and it would be, you're exactly right, about telling our loved ones that we're okay, but we don't think about that in advance, and we don't think about the cognitive stress that we're under at that point in time. So I really like the applicability and the currency of your research and the way in which this is a very 21st century problem. So it's fascinating. Thank you very much, Marion.
Yes, I mean, the reality is that this country is experiencing disasters more frequently than perhaps was the case in the past. And you're right. I mean, none of us really know how we're going to be able to cognitively function when disaster strikes. And what you're seeking to do is to preempt some of that in terms of usability. I think we've moved beyond the point where cell phones, smartphones are now seen, used to be seen as a luxury item. In actual fact, most people, including members of the younger generation, would see it as a necessity, if not everyone. And so what you're seeking to do is very, very important, so that when disaster does strike, actually the functionality is right there with members of our community. So, so well done.
Well done indeed. A round of applause for Marion Lara Tan.